Hi, Gig Benu Earl. What's up? What's going on? It is Tuesday. Welcome. I hope that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Wherever you are tuning in from, drop it in the comments. Would love to know where people are tuning in from. I myself, I'm from Southern California, and we're supposed to get a heat wave. We just had a rain, maybe day storm, kind of, and then now we're supposed to get a heat wave. So that's what we were. What's going? I want to know where you are. Drop in the comments where you're coming in from. I got a good one for you tonight. Kind of hits home for me, to be truthful, since I'm always kind of transparent. You know, some people just can't stay mad for too long. Do you know anyone like that? Like, genuinely cannot stay mad for too long. Drop a one in the comment. I'm curious to know. Drop a one in the comments if you know anyone like that. You know, they feel the pain, they get hurt, they feel the disappointment, but they just don't have it in them to hold on to this grudge like forever, right? So their heart doesn't really work that way. You know what they do, instead of staying angry, they really try to understand how this all came about, why the person did or said what they said or did. And then once they figure that out, they just move on. Bolani Bay one. Yes. Thank goodness I'm not the only one who knows people like that. That's pretty cool, though. Those are kind of cool people to know, right? Um, and some people may say, well, that's kind of weak, right? It's kind of, I would say that's kind of weakness. You kind of you forgive and you just move on. Well, I would say that's kind of not the case. It kind of takes way much more energy and effort, um, not to hate, not to hold a grudge. Do you agree with me? Drop a two in the comments if you agree. If you agree that it takes more of an effort to like forgive and forget and move on than just stay, right? So grudges are heavy, man. And some people can't really carry them; just too heavy, right? So they forgive not because the other person deserves it. I want to be very clear, okay? People forget these types of true forgiveness. This type of forgiveness is when you truly forgive, not because the other person or the other people deserve it. That's not why you are forgiving them. It's because you deserve peace. That's why you forgive. They rather let it go than have it like consume them, eat them alive, right? Now, some people may say, oh, that's too soft. I say that takes a lot more to do that. Too forgiving, too easy, too soft, walk all over. I kind of say that's the opposite, though. Choosing to release the anger when you have every right to hold on to it, it takes more strength to do that. Ask me, I know. And not everyone can do that. But if you can, I wouldn't say that's weakness. That's like a gift. Now, Let me tell you this: I'm working on that. I'm working on myself. I I can I can forgive. Um, it takes me a little bit longer than I like to forgive. I forgive. Um, I tend to hold on to the grudge a little bit longer than I really want to, and um, I just don't forget though. So, which means that I don't let that happen to me again from the same person, or just in general, right? I tend to be very sharp about the signs, right? So, if something someone did or said really is painful, hurtful, gets me angry. Um, Maybe it may take me a couple of days to forgive, but I'm not going to forget, which means that won't happen. I won't let that happen again, right? So that hopefully that makes sense to some, hopefully to all, right? Uh, so yeah, it's not like remember, um, and they talk about this, and you read it in the Bible too, how important it is to forgive. But remember, forgiveness is it's. I'll wrap it up for you with this, and this is why I'm working on it to get better. And most of you will agree with me that if you sit down and if you really think about the people that you need to forgive yourself to move on in life, you'll have a pretty decent list of people. Maybe it starts with mom, dad, uncle, neighbor, your coach, your first grade teacher, your principal, your dry cleaners, your barber, your hairdresser. I mean, it just could go on and on and on. So there may be time and there may be people that you really need to forgive, right? Now, this is why it's so important because and this is something that I'm working on, and this is the reason why. Because forgiveness is actually selfish. Now, you may say, what? Forgiveness is selfish because when you forgive, it's for you. You don't want to carry that crap with you that hate, that anger, that resentment. You want to dump the junk. You've heard me say that before dump the junk. So, forgiving is selfish because it's going to do you more good than them, right? And at the same time you want to keep um, a conscious mind about, hey, I don't want this to happen to me again, so look for the patterns, be able to actually um, pick that out and and be able to say, that's a sign. So I don't want that happen to me again. But hey, remember, forgiveness is selfish. You're doing it for yourself. I'm working on it myself. And so, with that, hopefully, you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. I appreciate you. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback below. Let this feed grow if you feel like this is worthy of sharing. Do what you got to do. Spread the love if you feel like somebody's going to get some value from this. Tag them. Let's go. Tag them and spread the love. So, with that, if you're not following me, if you're not subscribed to me, I highly recommend you connect with me on multiple platforms. You can. You can use a side gig Sean, and you can find me everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, Threads. And I help folks just like you and I to start a little side business using the online space. Why not? And we'll use social media to grow it for free. Why not? So if that resonates with you, you've been thinking about it, you want to get a little bit more income coming in, go to sidegigshawn.com, answer a couple questions so I get to know you. I'll reach out, we'll have the conversation, And let's see if that works for you, if it's a fit for you or not. With that, I am signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again. Much love.